What happens when a blue triadic color palette meets the calm of the sea and the simplicity of color field painting? For my 50-week painting challenge, I work with a random color palette every single week. I wrote down 50 different color palettes on cards, put them all in a jar, and each week I draw one at random. This week's palette is Blue Triadic. Blue is the dominant color combined with yellow and red in a triadic color scheme. For this painting, I'm inspired by the color field paintings of Mark Rothko and the photographs of Janae Mutchier. I was already familiar with Rothko's work, but a few years ago, after watching the Netflix documentary Made You Look, a true story about fake art, my interest in these paintings really deepened. I'm very drawn to the color field style. Color field paintings focuses on large, flat areas of color rather than detail or brushwork. The shapes are simple, often horizontal, and the painting is really about how color makes you feel. I love working with large horizontal areas of color, keeping things simple and letting color do most of the talking. For me, color is what gives a painting its emotion. Although I enjoy experimenting with different styles, I'm especially drawn to abstract landscapes and seascapes, and skies in particular. That made me wonder if seascapes could work within a color field approach. While searching online a few years ago to see if there were other artists painting seascapes in a color field style, the only thing I came across was the book Break Boundary by Janae Mutchier, filled with photographs and poetry. I ordered the book and it's absolutely beautiful. Her images are digitally edited, inspired by Rothko and the color field style, and I found them truly captivating. In the coming videos, I'll continue drawing inspiration from this book, focusing mainly on skies, land, and water. In the first video of this series, I mentioned that I wouldn't paint a seascape every week. The idea was to keep switching subjects. But honestly, painting seascapes is what I love most. They work with almost any color palette, they offer so much freedom, and they really feel like my thing. I'll stick with the color field style for now, but 50 weeks is a long time, so this approach might evolve along the way. Like many people, I've always felt deeply connected to water. I never get tired of it. The sea and the sky constantly change color depending on the weather, the season, and the time of day. And maybe it helps that I was born and raised in a fishing village in a fishing family. Back to the painting. A blue dominant triadic palette means blue combined with yellow and red. I started by laying out my color swatches, exploring different combinations, and adding a few neutral tones to balance the palette. The canvas board already had a layer of gesso mixed with yellow. First, I blocked in the composition using soft colors just to get a rough idea of the layout. Blue is the main color in this palette, so I decided to make the bottom, the sea, a deep blue and the top of the sky a lighter blue with soft yellow and reddish pink tones in the sky. At first I thought the sky looked nice, but I decided to make it slightly bluer and a bit more vivid. Even though I had a general idea of how I wanted the painting to look, I wasn't completely sure yet how I would handle the sky. I wanted to see how it would develop as I worked. So I focused first on the bottom and middle parts of the painting. Painters often say you should start with the areas that are farthest away, but I usually move back and forth across the canvas. I like to work across the whole painting as it takes shape. At first I had left a strip of yellow at the bottom, but I felt the painting looked better if the whole lower section was one solid color. Once the paint there was dry, I put some tape down. I don't want a perfectly sharp horizon, but tape helps because freehand the line usually isn't straight enough. It also makes blending much easier. I wanted the horizon to blend smoothly with the sky, so I added a lighter blue right over and near the tape. To transition from blue to yellow, I use an off-white, which is somewhere between white and yellow. I do this because if I used the light yellow, mixed it with blue, would create green, and I didn't want that. The off-white acts as a smooth bridge between the blue and yellow. This way, I could go from yellow to off-white and then into the lighter blue. Along the horizon line, I added the lighter blue and then blended over it with an even lighter blue to create a soft, seamless transition. And after that, I went over it again with the off-white and gently blended everything with a soft, dry mop brush. Next, I moved to the top of the painting. I decided the yellow and pink tones in the sky should also flow horizontally. Using a palette knife, I applied the colors from dark to light, then blended them softly with the mop brush. I let this dry, and this became the base for the sky's colors. For reference, I looked at a photo of clouds from the book and applied the colors with the palette knife in horizontal layers. This technique fit perfectly with the rest of the painting. The bottom is smooth and almost uniform in color. Then comes the horizon, where the colors blend into the sky, and the palette knife adds texture to the clouds, creating a nice contrast with the smoother areas below. I refined the top of the sky with more blue and added it lightly over the yellow and pink so the sky color peeked through here and there. And finally, I added highlights with off-white to bring everything together and finish the painting. And this is the finished painting. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment below. Thank you for watching. If this video was helpful or inspired you, please give it a like. It really helps my channel grow. I hope to see you next time with a new color palette.